Hey guys, it's your girl corporate Carolyn, and my corporate workday is over, but I wanted to stop by and share some tips with you guys because I know I have been going crazy with the whole anti-aging. I don't know why my cross won't stay straight, but the whole anti-aging question that a lot of times people ask me on good days, especially, that they think I look younger than 58. And I even have a sister-in-law that was looking at my legs, and she said, how is it that your legs haven't changed? Because she was saying that she got older, the muscle tone of her skin, of her legs rather, changed drastically. And I said, I work out, right? And she was not a fan of working out. And I always used to try to get her, like, even just to walk with me, but she didn't want to walk. She said she'd rather drive places. And I mean, that's funny when you're younger, but as you're aging, if you're not working out, I mean, you're really doing yourself a huge disservice if you want to look younger, if you want to feel better, look better, and maybe not take as many medications as some people in my age group are taking. And so what I wanted to share with you guys today is, I know it's so hard to exercise consistently because there's work, there's kids, and who really feels like it? But it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. I mean, I know everybody's not hung up on trying to look as young as possible, as long as possible, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You go and you wash your car, you get it detailed, and you're trying to make that look as good as it can for as long as it can. So why not do that for your body? I mean, the Lord gave it to you as a gift. Your body's a temple. It works better. It runs better. You feel better when you are exercising on a regular basis. Definitely believe that. And even if you can't like run or swim, or do like any number of high intensity exercises, you can do something. That's the message that I have for you, because as humans, we all have excuses. Like, I personally could have an excuse and say, well, back in November I had a meniscectomy because my knee, and this is one of the reasons I did the video, where it was for women that are like in their 30s, or even like late 20s. Auntie Carolyn was saying why you should get fit by 40. And it really is a thing, because the later you go in life, the more ailments, the more issues that you wind up developing. And then you really will have excuses. But excuses, yes, but not enough to keep you from exercising at all. You may not be able to do one thing, but you can definitely do something else. You can do something. Case in point, I couldn't straighten my knee last October, getting ready to go to Martha's Vineyard, getting ready to have a wonderful trip. I can show you guys some pictures where the entire time I couldn't bend my knee, and or straighten my knee rather, and I took one of the best pictures of my life. And while I was sitting in that little chair, I was thinking, okay, I'm probably going to call the orthopedic surgeon's office when I get home, or before I leave the island. And I did. Probably about a week into my vacation, I called and made an appointment for them to take a look at my knee to figure out why I couldn't straighten it. Why, if I wore sneakers or walked barefoot, I was limping. I had a gimp on my vacation where you're trying to look cute, but I took some cute pictures with my gimp, and that could be a message also about making lemonade out of lemons. The show must go on whether you can walk without a limp or not. But anyway, after I had the follow-up appointment, after having my meniscus trimmed, the orthopedic surgeon mentioned that he looked inside my knee. He saw a lot of wear and tear, probably from the time where I spent years on the treadmill for 99 minutes, going 7 miles a day, 5 days a week. I thought it was a good thing because I could do it. Nothing hurt. Nothing said, you big dummy, that's a lot for 5 days a week. But my husband had said it, but I didn't listen to him because I thought, something would hurt, something would bother me. Nothing bothered me. So all of a sudden the knee just doesn't want to straighten out. The surgeon says, you have wear and tear and you have arthritis. And he said, you can run across a parking lot, but I don't want you to run. Maybe you can swim. Hair issues, can't swim. I'm like, look, there's no pool in my basement. Well, I don't want you to run. Maybe use an elliptical. I don't have an elliptical in my basement. So then after going through physical therapy, because it still didn't want to straighten out, even after they did the work, I didn't know if you do surgery, a lot of times your knee struggles with wanting to straighten anyway, like bending, straightening, all of these things it had to readjust to doing. So I wound up going back to the orthopedic specialist and letting him hear what I was planning to do for my workout routine. And so I said, okay, I hear you. And I actually cried for 5 minutes when he said, running, you can just do something else. I can't tell you what to do, but and he just like shook his head. So I started crying. He just handed me the Kleenex. It's like, whatever, cry you want. This is my professional opinion. So I listened to him because if you think about it, there are a lot of people that are like 50, 60, 70 that wind up getting knee replacements. I don't want a knee replacement. I don't want a hip replacement or anything like that. So I listened to him. I like to listen to wisdom and make adjustments. And so I can't do what I've always done because I said, what about the HIIT, the high intensity interval training workouts with Jeanette Jenkins? If you look at my channel, I have some pictures where I'm showing my arms and I tell people what my workout is. I list the links to all of those videos that I used to do by her Monday through Friday that I can no longer do. Because he said, what's involved in a HIIT workout? And I said, well, jumping jacks and, burpees and all sorts of things. And he said, probably not, and I was like, doggone it. So I can't do those, but I can do power Pilates. I can. And I said, what about jumping rope? He's like, and I was thinking about it, like in my basement underneath, there's concrete, there's carpet, but there's concrete underneath. And so I was just jumping rope. I'd get off the treadmill, jump rope, do that HIIT workout. I was doing a lot of impact and I didn't even think about it because my knees weren't complaining. And so, but he said, and he just kept going, and I was like, darn it. So what am I doing? I said, what about the recumbent bike or an exercise bike? He said, okay, and I said, well, what about walking? He's like, yeah, why not? And so I just added an incline to it. You'd be surprised how your heart starts to work. If you put you go to 2, you go to 3, you're definitely getting a better workout and you're not doing impact. And then I said, well, what about Pilates? And he said, yeah, Pilates can work. He didn't think that it would probably give me as much cardio as I'd like because he mentioned, weights and things. So I found a Pilates workout that has the weights in it. It has the lunges, the squats that they were trying to get me to do that my knees never liked. And so it was just a combination of almost everything that they had in physical therapy, but it added weights and it also, worked my core. And so it's been almost a year since my knee decided that it didn't want to straighten anymore. And so I haven't been able to run since then. But I did actually, I was so goofy. I was jogging with a knee that wouldn't straighten, but I could only do like 2.5 miles an hour. So I was trying to still do what I had done always. But after he saw the MRI, he said, time out, stop that. I see the damage. It's mechanical. You need to stop. And so I haven't jogged since almost a year ago. And so just because I can't do what I've always done, I could still do something. And that's what I am doing right now. I'm still doing something. And I've been able to maintain my weight. I made some tweaks in my diet to offset the foolishness of this workout that's changed so much. But anyway, I can't do what I've always done, and you may not be able to either, but you can do something. So what I wanted to encourage you to do is to figure out what you can do because like in fact today with this workout that I'm doing, I do a lot of the physical therapy things in between the exercise bike and the treadmill, and some of those involve push-ups, because I want to keep my arms in shape after working out all these years. So I do a number of push-ups. By the time I got to the 10th push-up, all of a sudden I got this little like pain or something in my shoulder, and I was like, oh, what on earth? And so I tried to do the 11th one, but it felt weird, and there's like kind of a tightness, almost like a little hitch in my get along. And so I tried a little heating brace that my husband has. I took a couple of Advil, and then I was trying to do the normal weight thing that I do, like where the weights go behind my back a little bit. And so where you work in the triceps, and my neck is like, no, stop it. And I said, okay, Nick, I don't want any problems with you. And I was trying to do the little things where I lift like that. And my neck said, don't do that. And so I just started doing other stuff and just testing the temperature of my neck and to see if it would allow me to do other stuff. And it liked the Pilates. And then I found another thing that I was doing in places of the other stuff I was doing, just to like to kind of stretch it out a little bit. And I just like started pretending like I was swimming and just doing like this, and that helped to loosen it up. So like, as goofy as you might look, if you're watching television, maybe you could do that. My arms actually feel good doing that. Maybe you can't go to the pool, maybe you can't swim, but maybe while you're sitting, maybe you could do some, like just some practice arm strokes, just to get your body moving. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Even if you have to go fish out the hula hoop that might be behind the love seat in the basement, I have one. Even if you have a jump rope that maybe you could jump rope in between commercials, or like I can't do the jumping jacks that I used to do with Jeanette Jenkins, but I can do this and go from side to side to do like a mock or an imitation jumping jack. And then also like it felt good on my neck to stretch it out a little bit, where I was just like standing with my arms out, and then I would like touch my toes like that and just go from side to side, and that helped to loosen things up. And so I'm going to take some Advil before I go to bed, and then hopefully in the morning my neck will be nice and loose where I can go back to the push-ups. If my neck says, hey, we need a few more days to get our act together, then I'll say, okay, I'll do something else that doesn't aggravate it. But my little 2-hour plus workout that I do, even if I can't do what I've always done, something else is going to go in that spot. Even if I have to add 5 more minutes to the exercise bike, maybe walk 5 minutes longer, maybe just do some other modified exercises. And like, surprisingly, I wind up doing things that I see on YouTube. There are a lot of physical therapists that are on there, like for whatever particular ailment you might have, they have some routines that you can do. Like, you'd be surprised. They talk about how if you're trying to rehabilitate a knee, you need to get glute strength, but you also need to, just build your knees up in general. And so one of the ways is just like getting up from a seat without, without touching anything. And so like, I like do like that, and do about 15 of those as a part of my workout too. You'd be surprised if you put that kind of stuff in between like a treadmill or exercise bike, and you're rehabbing the areas that might be weak on your body. And then also, even if you don't want to get on the treadmill, a lot of people don't like the treadmill. My husband doesn't like the treadmill, but I actually love it because I pray, quote scripture, watch some sermons on it sometimes. And so I actually like it because it allows me to think. A lot of times I come up with great ideas to implement at work. So I love the treadmill personally. I never want to be without one. But even if you don't want to do the treadmill, there are other things that you can do. Like from physical therapy, they have these bands where you can like go from side to side, and you're stretching, like not only your your quads and hamstrings and all sorts of things, but you can also improve your hip mobility and movement. And so you also build up your glute strength. And so I'm able to do like the side to side motion, like from one end of a room to another, like they had me doing in physical therapy. And then also you do these things called monster walks where you kick your leg out, and then you go forward. And so I'm doing all sorts of things. And these things get my heart rate up. They get me sweating, not like running, but it's doing something, whatever you can do. And years ago when I could run, like say if I hurt my ankle or if I hurt a toe or something, and I would see what I could do. Like, okay, maybe you can't jog 5 miles an hour. Maybe you can do 4. Okay, you can't do 4. Well, maybe you can do 3. Well, you can't do 3. Okay, well, maybe you can walk at 2.5. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, well, let's just do 2. Oh, that's too fast. There have been times I've been on the treadmill where I've either walked at 1.9 miles an hour, or I've even walked at 1.4 miles an hour when that knee wouldn't straighten, and the doctor told me not to do anything that aggravated it. And so I said, well, what if I walked 1.4 miles an hour? And he said, okay, well, I don't see any reason why that should be damaging. And so in that window of exercise, I walked as slowly as I needed to for my knee to be okay with it. I looked ridiculous. Nobody else needed to see. But I said, doggone it, I have this time. I'm going to do something else. And he even told me, the doctor, that I would be tired if I didn't do something in place of that exercise, because the endorphins that are released when you exercise, that will be like dramatically missing, and you'll notice that if you just stop abruptly. And so he was right. And so I got my 5-pound weights, and I came up with routines that I could do, like little presses and things, and like where you put your hands together and like you like put your the weights like behind your neck, and just whatever I could make up, even if I had to like lift my legs and like do circles in the air and stuff, just whatever I could do. So that's what I want you to do. You may not be able to do everything that you like to do or everything that someone else is doing, but you can do something. And that's all I'm encouraging you to do. You have to do something. You can't just say, oh, well, exercise is not for me, I'm not going to do it. No matter what your illness, ailment, or age, there is something that you can do. Even if you're just like, moving your arms up like that. As long as you have arms, use them. As long as you have legs, use them, for whatever makes sense. And YouTube is a great source of exercise. They even have things for senior citizens, that have weak knees, or people who can't stand for prolonged periods. So whatever your excuse, YouTube probably has an answer for you to be able to get up off of your or even if you can't get up off your you can move your arms, you can do something. So I just want you to do whatever you can do, and that will go a long way to you looking as good as you can for as long as you can. That's all I'm trying to encourage you to do. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. If you have any questions about what I'm doing, definitely let me know, and I'm happy to share. But until the next time, you guys have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.